po si Arnel Doria at ito ang Good Trip, ang lingguhang biyahe po natin sa mundo ng travel, transportation, road safety at environment. Mapapanood po tuwing Sabado, 1:00 hanggang 2:00 dito po sa Radyo Bandido TV, simulcast on DCRJ 8:10 AM, on Sky Cable Channel 224, digital boxes, and on free-to-air TV. Mapapanood din sa facebook.com/DCRJ 8:10 AM at sa ating official YouTube channel.
Each member represents a respected name. But together, we are stronger. United as a team, we are MDPPA.
Magandang hapon po. Sabado na naman. Ito po ang good trip po natin. Ang araw po ng lingguhang biyahe po natin sa mundo ng travel, transportation, road safety at environment. Ito po sa Arnel Doria, 1 oras po tayo magkakasama, 1:00 po hanggang 2:00 ngayong hapon. Diyan lang po kayo at steady lang kayo dyan. Magandang hapon po sa mga nakikinig po sa Transistor Radio saan mang sulok po kayo ng Pilipinas. At sa lahat po ng nanonood sa telebisyon sa pamamagitan po ng Sky Cable, TV boxes, pati na rin po ang free-to-air TV, Channel 29 po, Radyo Bandido. At pati na rin po sa ating mga live coverage sa Facebook page po ng DCRJ 8:10 AM. Ganon din sa ating official YouTube channel, yung DCRJ 8:10 AM Radyo Bandido. Yan po ating official YouTube channel at lahat po ng programa natin dito sa DCRJ, naka-upload po yan sa ating YouTube at pwede po ninyong panoorin ng ilang beses, paulit-ulit. Pwede nyo pong balik-balikan po yan. So, paki-subscribe po, paki-like at sali na po kayo sa lumalaking DCRJ community. Batiin muna natin ang mga nagdiwang po na kanilang birthday nitong nakaraang linggo at sa papasok na linggo, mga kaibigan po natin at taga-subaybay po na ating programa. Una na po ating kababayan sa Pangasinan, si Tina Banogon ng Petron Corporation. Ang birthday po siya noong Huwebes. Biyernes, kahapon pala. Birthday po niya. Si Vice Lino, kumusta na Vice? Happy birthday sa iyo, no? Birthday niya today. Ang ating masugid na taga-basbas po na ating programa, si Pastor Marinel Agtalao, birthday rin po niya. Magandang hapon sa iyo, Marinel. At sa aking dating boss at kasamahan po sa kumpanya noong araw, si Mr. Toyoji Matsuyama. Birthday naman po niya bukas. Ganun din po, nakasama po natin sa the same company, si Dancel Cruz Palma. Ayan, kasama po natin yan dati. At yung isa pong nagdadala po ng solar light sa mga remote villages dyan po sa may Mindanao at Visayas, si JP Sebreros. Happy birthday rin sa iyo. Ganun din si Riz Dalangin. Happy birthday. Si Mr. Dong Magsaho, ating kababayan dyan pong taga-Pasig. Happy birthday sa iyo, Dong. Si Susain Capistrano. Si G. Salcedo po, happy birthday. Enjoying ang kanyang apo. Si Luis Ilustre po. At ang ating nakasama rin sa trabaho, si Lorna Pinlac. Ngayon ay, nasaan na ba siya ngayon? Happy birthday po sa inyo. Shoutout na rin po sa ating mga kaibigan ng programa, si Patch Kilyaw, si Tintalier, si Mr. Jason Salvador pala, nawawala pa hanggang ngayon. Kailan kaya natin ito makakasama ulit dito? Baka magkaroon ka na ng oras yung mga busy schedule. Makakasama po natin ulit si Mr. Jason dito sa ating programa. Ayan po. Itong pagpasok po ng 19th Congress of the Philippines, sa pagbubukas po nitong kongreso na to, kapansin-pansin na maraming panukalang batas ang may kinalaman po sa transportasyon sa bansa. Hindi natin malaman kung ibig sabihin nito ay marami ng mambabatas ang nakakapansin sa nakakaawang lagay ng transportasyon natin, di ba? So, mabuti naman kung ganoon. At ilan po sa mga nakalap nating mga panukala, ito, halimbawa po, yung HB 3366 o Fair Traffic Apprehension Act. Andyan din yung HB 1544 or yung Roadworthy Driving Seminar for All Drivers. Andyan din ang 697 HB o Driver Education Act. Ang HB 31, No Garage, No Registration Act. Nandyan din ang HB 3410 o Traffic Enforcement Centralization Act. Andyan ang HB 1419 o Anti-Lane Splitting Law. Ang HB 32 na Motorcycle Safety Riding Act. Ang HB 592 o Magna Carta for Tricycle Drivers and Operators. At yung Senate Bill 38 para naman po sa proteksyon ng mga delivery riders. No, sa website po ng Kongreso, Lower Congress, pati na rin po sa Senado, halos 100 po mga panukalang batas na nakafile na may kinalaman po sa transportasyon. Sa ating pagbabalik po, isa-isahin po natin itong mga napili natin sa listahan at tignan natin kung papaano nakakaapekto sa ating pang-araw-araw na buhay bilang motorista. Diyan lang po kayo, babalik po tayo kaagad.
Each member represents a respected name. But together, we are stronger. United as a team, we are MDPPA.
Alright, ngayong Sabado, makakasama po natin para pag-usapan po natin itong mga napakaraming bills na nakalista dito sa Kongreso, pati sa Senado, sabi ko nga, halos 100 ang nakasampang mga panukalang batas. At pag-uusapan po natin itong mga batas na to, unang-una po, kailangan pa ba itong mga ito? Baka hindi na, o meron ng existing. At kung ano naman itong magiging impact po sa atin, mga karaniwang tao, karaniwang motorista, na gumagamit po ng kalsada. At kasama po natin ngayong Sabado para tulungan tayong ipaliwanag itong tungkol sa mga batas at mga ginagawang batas. Makakasama po natin, kilalang columnist po ng Top Gear Philippines. Matagal-tagal na rin ito, veterano na to ng Top Gear. At lately nga, naging trustee din po siya ng Automobile Association of the Philippines, ang leading national motorcar association sa Pilipinas. At ito pa, by profession, abogado po siya, managing partner po ng Consunhi and Bonifacio Law Office. Si kaibigan po natin, si Attorney Roby Consunhi. Good afternoon, Roby.
Good afternoon, Sir Arnel. At saka sa mga nakikinig at nanonood.
Congratulations pala, pagkaka-elect mo kay last month lang, sa AAP
Yes,
bilang Board of Trustee.
Thank you. Thank you. Maraming salamat.
Oo, alam mo naman marami tayong kaibigan sa AAP at we look up to the AAP pagdating ng mga usapin ng hindi lang po motorsports ang AAP. Marami rin po silang mga ginagawa, may kinalaman po sa everyday motoring po natin. At medyo maingay lang kasi yung motorsports kaya yan lang lagi nating nakikita. Pero marami po silang pinagkakaabalahan. In fact, mga ilang taon na nakakaraan na sinusulong nila noon yung Road Safety Act. Actually, there was an attempt ng AAP na i-upgrade yung napakatanda na nating RA 4136. Hindi lang ho nagkatuluyan. Dahil nga may mga ibang batas po doon, panahon-panong karitela. Kailangan i-adapt na natin. Parating na po ang mga electric vehicle, mga, di ba? So, kailangan nang mag-update. Pero isa po yan sa mga pinagkakaabalahan po ng Automobile Association of the Philippines. At masaya po tayo na nandyan po si Attorney Roby Consunhi. At mukhang marami siyang dadalhin mula sa kanyang experience bilang columnist ng Top Gear. Ilang taon ka na dyan sa Top Gear, Attorney Roby?
Since 2004, 2005.
Wow! Malapit ng ano yan, mag-debut.
The first in the set of Top Gear contributors.
Oo nga, no? Oo. So,
In there.
ilang taon na po yan? So, as a columnist, alam nyo, bilang columnista po, ang dami pong nare-receive ng point of view niya, maraming from all corners, from the government, public sector, private sector, diba? Ordinary motorist, sinusulatan po yan, hinihingan po ng opinion bilang
Kung minsan
abogado.
nga, Arnel, minsan parang lightning rod eh. Ang daming tumatama sa akin na tanong, hindi ko naman masagot lahat. I mean, but challenge is to come up with the answer for
Yeah,
the
oo.
reader.
But that means, because of the mga ganyang information, ang dami mong nakikitang insights, di ba? Concern ng ating mga motorists.
And as a lawyer, I like to argue pro and con, depende sino kliyente.
Okay. Okay. Good. So, ganun gagawin natin ngayon. Kasi kanina,
Yes.
binanggit ko itong nasa listahan natin. Out of the more than 100, medyo naglista lang tayo mga ilan. Naparami masyado para makover natin.
Sampu
Isa po,
ata ito.
oo. Isa po dito sa nakita nga natin, itong House Bill 3366 nga, ano. Official title ito, no? An act enforcing fair traffic apprehension, granting for the purpose of compensation to drivers of motor vehicles for improper traffic apprehension and imposing administrative sanction for erring traffic enforcement personnel. Unang tanong ko, Attorney, bakit ganito kahaba ang mga title ng batas natin?
Yung batas kasi has to be generic. Kailangan sa isang reading na naiintindihan ng public kung ano yung mga nilalaman.
Ganon.
Kaya minsan, hindi naman pwedeng 1 or 2 or 3 words.
Oo naman. Oo. Pero
Mahaba nila talaga na mahaba to ensure traffic apprehension, granting the purpose of compensation.
oo.
Mahaba yung title talaga.
Kaya nga pala, isang paragraph, naintindihan mo na lahat ng ibig sabihin.
Pero meron siya mga short title Fair Traffic Apprehension Act. Diba?
Fair Apprehension Act, Fair Traffic Apprehension Act. Well, yung sinasabi lang naman dito, ang nagsulong kasi nito ay yung kongresista galing po sa rider party list, yung mga party list po ng mga motorsiklo. Ang gusto lang po nila dito, ingis, sa title pa lang, ibig sabihin po nito, gusto lang po nilang parusahan ang mga enforcer na tinatawag nilang wrong apprehension o maling anong tawag dito? Maling kaso o maling violation ang sinasite.
Yes.
Ano masasabi mo dito, Attorney?
Actually, it's a very good law because that is what the public needs and wants to hear now, no? They want some assurance that their damages are now recovered, no? And I think in that sense it's good. I just don't know whether it is really relevant or it is something that can be implemented long term. Because there are existing laws which are in place. Ang problema ho natin, yung tungkol sa may wrong apprehension, mahahaba ang proseso sa traffic adjudication. Hindi ko naman makuha yung mga damages ko na sa kaka-absent ko para lang mag-hearing. Pag iniksian lang nila yung adjudication process o in-improve nila yung training ng enforcer, baka hindi na natin kailangan itong batas na to.
Kasi nga, ayun nga ang unang tanong ko wala ba sa kasalukuyan ba, wala bang mga recourse ang mga nabibiktima? Halimbawa, wrong apprehension, sabihin na natin, maling pagkakahuli. Wala bang recourse sa kasalukuyan ang mga motorista natin?
Meron naman Meron naman sa police, NAPOLCOM at saka yung internal affairs office nila. Public officers sa ombudsman. Lahat yan gross misconduct, gross neglect of duty, ignorance of the law, and then that is the administrative. You still have the civil liability of damages because under the civil code, a public officer who interferes with the property rights or with the civil rights or constitutional rights is liable for damages. Ang problema, ang court process natin ilang taon. Sa halagang let's just put an example, 1 million pesos worth of damage.
Mhm.
And then as a lawyer, sasabihin ko sa'yo, Boss Arnel, hindi ko makukuha yan kahit 15 years.
Mhm.
And when you compare the cost and benefit of long-term litigation, and I call it everlasting litigation, no?
Mhm. Mhm.
From lower court to Court of Appeals to Supreme Court, makaabutin ka ng 15 years.
Mhm.
And I will say, are you willing to spend for my legal fees for 15 years? Sasabihin mo, bakit itong gagastos dyan? Tapos back to work na lang ako muna para
Mhm.
makapawi.
Kasi
I
yun,
hope this law does not end up in the same court system kasi. I like the law. I don't like the current procedure to get them the relief that they want.
ay ganun mangyayari dito. Kung batas ito at may violation, sasampa mo ng kaso.
Oh, baka buti kung, I mean, kahit na anong summary procedure ang gawin ng lower court,
Mhm.
mapilis na 2 years. Pero ang expectation ng kliyente, 2 buwan.
Mhm.
Hindi mangyayari eh.
Kasi sa ngayon, kung hindi ka magsasampa ng batas, meron, halimbawa sa MMDA, may adjudication sila, di ba? Sa
Oo.
LTO, meron din.
Oh.
LTFRB, meron din. Do you think a law will make it better?
I think the way to complement this law is to make sure that the enforcers, the adjudication are well trained, and then the mechanisms kahit sa judiciary are all aligned.
Mhm.
Kasi to speed up the process, no. So the traffic violation and apprehension is a specialized field. So it should not be put under the main umbrella of the court system, and that's why you have traffic adjudication boards sa mga LGU at saka
Mhm.
sa agency. But will this one for compensation be under which umbrella and jurisdiction? I think it will go to the regular court.
Mhm. Mhm.
And in my experience in litigation, minsan yung dapat within 1 year nagiging 8 years.
Mhm. Mhm.
And the recent pandemic created a timeline of court process practically times 3, times 4.
Wow. Oo.
So yung as of March 2020 up to today, roughly 30 months, nothing has really moved. Some are online, some are not online. I say that kasi I don't know what's going to happen with all the laws coming eh.
Oo.
Lahat ng litigation ko, I cannot make a forecast anymore eh. Nung araw nakasasabi ko pa eh, alam mo mga 3 years to.
Mhm.
Ngayon nasa 6 years na ako mag-estimate. Lower court ha.
Oo.
Each member represents a respected name. But together, we are stronger. United as a team, we are MDPPA.
Ako matagal ko nang ina-advocate is that hindi basic driver's education but road safety education should be taught in schools as a pedestrian, as a bicyclist, as a motorcyclist, or as a passenger ng car, but not as a driver.
Behavior on the road as in any means of mobility.
Yes. Because 100% lahat ng high school graduate natin magiging pedestrian yan.
Totoo.
So they needed that education. Paano sila maging safe? But I'm more onto that than yung basic driver education. Kasi, I mean, sa lahat ng kaklase natin sa high school, hindi naman lahat sila nag-driver. Like si attorney, may driver.
Uy, wala akong driver.
Wala ba?
I have enjoyed driving ever since I was underage.
Ayan, umamin ka na. Nung panahon natin, pwedeng kumuha ng lisensya.
Side topic, natuto ako mag-drive sa JT Transit.
Talaga?
Dahil nagpa-public ako, buhat grade school hanggang college. Nakaupo ako lagi sa likod ng driver ng jeep.
Oo, tama, tama.
Oo, magaling sila magturo sa akin ng mag-drive.
Ako rin. My first observation ng driver is sa jeepney. Diba? Nakikita mo yung ginagawa ng mama. Ganun pala mag-drive. Oh. May clutch siya, may cambio, may accelerator.
At saka inintay mo yung ano, yung ganyan ng konduktor. Para alam niya, abante na. Di ba?
Pupukpuk sa pintuan.
Oo. Di ba?
Okay. Sige.
Yan ang driver training.
Oo.
Oo.
Okay, okay. Meron naman dito, ito. Alam ko anong tingin mo dito. Medyo, hinihintay ko nga reaction dito ng mga car manufacturers. HB 31, an act requiring parking space from motor vehicle buyers in metropolitan areas as prerequisite to purchase a motor vehicle and registration to the Land Transportation Office. Bibili ka pa lang, di ka bibentahan kung wala kang parking at hindi ka makakarehistro kung walang parking. Tingin mo rito. Metropolitan areas, hindi lang Metro Manila.
Oo. I think the problem is parking. What is the cure? The cure is produce your parking. But I think the problem is parking. Let's police the parking problem. Kasi ang related issue is the police power to regulate the parking and to put an added requirement on top of your purchase price. I want to buy a car, but I have to buy a parking or I have to gain space. This is now a property prerequisite to my purchase of the car.
Yes.
The car industry does not like it because this is going to suppress the buying power of the brand new cars.
Especially middle class natin.
This law affects both brand new and second hand.
Yeah, lahat.
And that's why to me, ang mangyayari dyan, hindi ko na ililipat yung nabili kong auto. Kasi yung mga grandfathered cars do not have a requirement for property.
Correct.
Or parking as a prerequisite. There are many issues to this, and I think the main point is it a lawful subject? Is it subject matter that, and I just respectfully say, maybe not. Let's put it the parking problem. Let's work out the zoning issues. Let's work out the floor area ratio and use of property issue. Let's work out the decentralization or move out of the city and out of congested area. And then the reverse. It's time to bring in the certificate of entitlement, parang sa Singapore. Which says if you want to buy a car, will you buy a COE in advance? So that the population of cars is really limited. But I don't think the Philippines is ready for that also. Or is it that you need a congestion charge? Yung lahat ng papasok sa city, gagalaw sa city, bayad kayo.
Which are ang model natin, Singapore dyan, yung congestion charge nila, no, going to the city center. Pero, tama ka, this is about parking. And if you talk about metropolitan areas, lahat naman ng mga cities na nakalista, they have mga parking ordinances yan, di ba? Mga no parking zones and parking zones allowed, etc. Nandyan na yan eh. Ang problem kasi natin, yung mga no parking zones na ginagawang parking, so it congests the major roads.
And it goes down to the barangay level.
Correct, oo.
Of being able to police your neighborhood. I think that's where the problem really lies.
Kasi nakikita ko rin yung ginagawa nila MMDA, nila Bong Nebrehan, di ba? Dinidecongest nila yung, anong tawag nila? Yung mga alternative routes.
Alternative routes.
Oo. Lahat nun, no parking, pero ang dami nagpa-parking. So, parang no parking zone na yun. Kung gagawin din natin dito no parking, no registration, it's still bawal pa rin, pero hindi na i-implement eh. Diba?
I go back again to the question, is this law proposed, this bill, administratively feasible? Kasi magsasubmit ako ng affidavit, papakita ko na may parking ako. Ito yung nasa affidavit ko, nakasulat sa affidavit ko. Sinong kukuha ng affidavit ko si LTO? Di ba?
Yeah. Sasubmit.
Meron ba talagang magche-check ulit kung totoo ba yung sinulat ko? Hindi naman siguro eh.
Sa dami ng mga sasakyan.
Gagawin ko dyan, irerehistro ko na lang sa probinsya mga auto ko.
Mhm.
Kahit
Yeah.
na nasa Metro Manila ang bahay ko talaga.
Oo.
Dalawang bahay.
Yeah, oo.
O makiki-address na lang ako sa kaibigan.
Oo.
Wala. So there are many. Is it administratively feasible is my question. And it's difficult already to govern vehicle registration and driver's licenses. This is an additional policing burden on the part of the LTO to see nasa ng affidavit mo of parking. I'm sure the real estate developers like it on the other hand.
You have a point. Kasi halimbawa, Metro Manila, bawal pa. O sige, ang address ko ngayon is outside Metro Manila, let's say Binyan. Di ba?
Oo. Doon pa lang
hindi na kailangan ng parking space.
Oo. Makiki-address na ako doon sa kamag-anak.
Or Santa Rosa. O bili ka ng maliit na lupa sa probinsya. O
12 square meters.
Sa mga bukid, Hindi, pwede ba yung mga sementeryo?
Because it is not this one, the lawful subject of parking space and parking problem is not linked again to the police power and saying, do you know for a fact na dun lang talaga magpa-park araw-araw yung sasakyan na yan? Sa totoo, yung ibang mga auto, iba-ibang lugar ang ang parking area niya eh. Hindi naman everyday yun yung address eh.
Okay. So, malabo pa rin. Actually, matagal nang pinag-uusapan to, ilang taon na, di ba?
Oo.
Balik lang ng balik tong usapan na to, hindi makausad-usad din. Maybe because of that, may inherent problem dito.
Yes.
Okay. The next one is HB 3410, itong Traffic Enforcement Centralization Act. Ito naman, parang, anong gagawin nila dito? Magkikreate ng bagong agency na naman, National Traffic Management Center. And lahat na ng enforcement ay dito na lang. So anong mangyayari sa LTO, MMDA, LTFRB?
Collapse lahat.
Yung mga traffic enforcer ni Manila, Makati.
I like the idea. Kasi uniform siya throughout the country.
Isang ticket na lang, no? Okay.
Isang ticket, isang standard, isang training, isang
penalties, pare-parehos din.
I like it. Pero I don't know again whether it is feasible.
Which means lahat ng enforcer ng LGU, LTFRB, LTO absorb ng bagong ahensya, ganun?
Di ba?
Dahil hindi na trabaho ng MMD, hindi na trabaho ng LTO, hindi na trabaho ng LTFRB. So enforcement abolished doon and everybody goes to this National Traffic Management Center.
And too centralized will clash with the LGU autonomy.
Well, that's one issue. And also, para ka nag-create ng PNP for traffic enforcement.
Correct. You remove the police powers from the direct agencies involved. And then now you have a super for traffic only. Because if you coordinate the traffic element, you also remove it from the other related areas of, as I said, parking maybe, or even policing or zoning, or there are some interconnected parts there that they will lose out on it. So I don't know the real way that it can be feasible to be done. To train all enforcers, good.
That's good too. Yung sinasabi natin kanina, lahat pare-pareho ng training. Uniform lahat ng violation, uniform ang mga penalties. On that part, magandang idea, no? Para hindi na iba-iba. Hindi na yung you have coding in one city and no coding in another city.
But to tie this one up with the earlier discussion, I hope they also put in something like integrated traffic adjudication. It seems to be silent, di ba? If they're going to do the regulatory side, enforcement side, the training, and then the cycle, all the way down to the adjudication.
Pero may sinasabi sila dito, in the event motorist contested apprehension and won, sabi niya, may damage awarded to the party for lost opportunity of work. Kasama sinama nila dito.
Again, that's always been the law in civil code.
Oo nga eh. Meron naman talaga niya. Pwede kang magdemanda eh.
Oh. Ang question again, haba-haba.
Is it worth it? Yun lang.
Perpetual litigation. Perpetual litigation again. No?
Oh, like halimbawa sa MMDA, nahuli ka, gusto mo i-contest, penalty mo is 500, then you have to be absent from work 1 day or 2 days, depende sa tagal ng inyong usapan. Parang mas malaki, gagastos ka ng pamasahe, pagkain, and everything. Parang malaki pa yung damage.
Yun yung isang matrix na chinecheck ko, Arnel. Iwas na lang ako sa penalty kaysa sa mag-protest, di ba? Compromise na lang, babayaran ko na lang yung 1,000 o yung 500, kahit 3,000 pesos. Hindi na ako araw-araw pumupunta sa follow-up sa adjudication board. And on the other hand naman kasi, if you don't protest, lumalaki ang demerit points mo sa license.
Nalisa yun, no?
And when you hit that magic number, they reset your license back to seminar. So it's two ways eh. I see the demerit system as being good. Wrongful apprehension must be reduced. Pero yung compromise tapos babayaran na lang, I also don't encourage that eh. Kasi lalaki ang demerit points mo sa license mo, hindi ka maka-renew. Mag-seminar ka ulit. Unless we quantify it and we say, sige na, 20 points na ako, seminar na lang ako kaysa sa mag-protest na ako kahaba-haba. That is what I see is going to happen when the adjudication process is not sped up. They will just go for full max out. Mas mura kasi eh.
Yeah.
Kahit mag-demerits ako, kahit mag-full demerits ako, kahit na mag-seminar ako ulit.
Each member represents a respected name. But together, we are stronger. United as a team, we are MDPPA.
So hindi ba dapat, alam mo, siguro napanood mo rin sa YouTube yung Caught in Providence, di ba? Providence pa? Province?
Yes.
Yung, hindi ko alam kung anong korte yun eh, pero there's a court na ito lang nga traffic violation ang dinidiscuss at on the spot, alam mo, meron ng desisyon. Well,
on the spot, I think that is more of a traffic adjudication court. Yun lang ang jurisdiction niya. Yun lang ang kaso niya.
Yeah, oo. Marami sa mga inaangal natin violation naman kasi traffic violation, di ba?
But this one of the proposed the bill, no? Yung is not a traffic adjudication issue. This is a damages claim.
Oo nga, for compensation.
It should go into the MTC and RTC depending on the size of the claim.
Oo.
So I like the law. I like the way the apprehending officers will be awakened. But let's also wake up the process. Kasi I asked the reverse. How fast do you want this to be resolved? Di ba? Ang expectation ng motorista, typically, 2 buwan, 6 na buwan, mahaba-habang proseso. Pero pag sinabi mong, alam mo sir, baka 1 year to 2 years tayo, mabilis na yung 3 years para sigurado tayo.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody wants to do that for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Oo nga naman.
Ang ano dyan, is the client has to be so offended.
Mm-hmm.
Has to be a good big number of people affected.
Mm-hmm.
And there are maraming mag-contribute sa expenses for litigation.
Mm-hmm.
That is the classic case na kahit mahabang proseso, magdidemanda sila. Or it is a life and death issue.
Oo.
Pero yung perwisyo,
Oo nga.
rarely do they litigate that kasi borderline
Traffic violation lang halimbawa. Well, life and death sinasabi mo talagang ano na to, major accident na may loss of life, may loss of properties na siguro.
I turn it around I ask the question, how many class suits have been done in the Philippines for similarly situated, similarly damaged, and offended parties?
Oo.
Successfully in court to the Supreme Court. Napapagod ng tao
Mm-hmm.
Napapagod ng abogado
Yeah.
Hindi naman tinutuloy yung asunto
Oo. Halimbawa, ang alam kong class suit na alam ko yung dengbak siya hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa rin, di ba?
There was a class suit by the motorcycle riders relating to the expressway access for the 400.
Okay. Oo.
400,
meron ba? Oo.
400
and below.
And below. And the Supreme Court ruled that is a reasonable classification. It's a valid exercise of police power. There are safety reasons, etc.
Mm-hmm.
But how many years ago was that case? And how many class suits are the public willing to file? How many are willing to be party plaintiff to fight government?
Mm-hmm.
Many are scared of retaliation when you fight government.
Mm-hmm.
Ayaw maging party plaintiff.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in principle, maganda siyang tignan pero nakikita
process.
natin implementation process kung naging batas ito. Pwedeng maging in paper na batas. Okay. So okay. So, isang batas pa lang, isang bill pa lang itong ating napag-uusapan.
Yes, Arnel.
Meron namang isa ito. Ito galing kay Congressman Robert Barbers, ano? Dating senador na to, di ba? Robert Barbers. Mm-hmm. Congressman siya ngayon. HB 1544. Ang gusto naman niya dito ay, ano ba ito? Roadworthy Driving Seminar for All Drivers. Ito yung title niya, haba na naman. An act requiring both new applicants for driver's license as well as existing licensed drivers to undergo mandatory roadworthy driving seminar and actual driving test before the issuance or renewal of their driver's license. Well, it catches yung gist ng batas, ano? Everybody must undergo ito. Anong tingin mo naman dito, Attorney?
I thought this was a function of the LTO.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I believe the LTO is a very powerful agency. And I believe they have the mandate to do all of this. I cannot see why it must be memorialized in a law. It's a lawful subject, a lawful matter. The causal connection to what is the ill trying to be, or what is the problem trying to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know what the road safety issues are. And training definitely matches up. I just don't know whether a law to recite what is already existing is really necessary. Because the mandate here says the Land Transportation Office shall create a program for the driving seminar and actual driving tests. Isn't that existing?
Oo nga. Di ba, I think, in fact, naging maingay nga niya nung umpisa ng LTO na magbigay nga ng driver exam, di ba? Naging ang daming mga nagsalita tungkol dyan. Well, as of now, meron ng online driving exam bago ka makarenew na lisensya.
So I'm wondering what the distinction really is. I don't see it because the curriculum is spelled out, and to put a curriculum into a law to me is too too restricting. Because we have to have enough flexibility for when new technologies come into play in the forecast. No? Whether it is technology by the power source, electric vehicles, for example, or it is driver aids, or it is autonomous driving. No? And the forecast is that autonomous driving is coming and it's very imminent. Even if I put autonomous driving in this law, I think there will probably be more technology in the future of vehicles communicating with each other on the road to avoid collisions, all of that. No, a law is enough to be flexible. I mean, it's required to be put out as a policy, and then some internal flexibility of the agency. Most of this concept of seminar, I believe, is covered by the 4136 of 1963.
Yeah, correct. At saka as far as I know ngayon, di ba, yung mga bagong student drivers, bago nga sila makakuha ng student driver, they have to undergo, I think, 15-hour seminar.
Yes.
On road safety and mga road traffic laws. That is driver's license pa lang. And yun nga mga kumukuha ng renewal ngayon, they have to undergo online examination. They have to pass the examination bago makapag-renew ng lisensya.
I see this law as this bill as a good wake-up call to the LTO.
Yeah.
To do its work.
Oo. So in other words, existing na to and no need for a new law na naman na guguluhin na naman itong mga patakaran natin. May bagong batas na naman.
It's a good law. I try to look at things positively, Arnel, no? And I don't want to be quoted as shooting down everybody's idea. It's a good law. Let's fund the LTO to give them the funds to do the proper implementation of it. I think that's the wake-up call also. I sympathize with the LTO in napakalang dami nilang trabaho, but do they have the funding and the staffing and the expertise to be able to execute it? Let's give it to them.
Kaya kung tutusin nga, sa laki ng collection ng LTO, the national government should give back to LTO enough funds para naman magawa nila lahat ng kanilang trabaho.
That's correct. That's correct.
Kasi nabanggit, may batas na ganito, pero actually, trabaho ng LTO magbigay ng driver's license, and in giving driver's license, may mga administrative order na si LTO about driving seminar, about driving exam, about mandatory training, may manual training pa para makakuha na non-professional or professional license. So, baka may duplication. So, instead of a new law, i-propose na lang ni Congressman Barber's additional budget for LTO.
I think it's a very powerful agency, but it also needs a lot of people and a lot of budget. And let's give it to them so that they can do the work.
Can you imagine ilan ba enforcer ng LTO?
That is the secret. The number I heard was very low. That I was quite concerned that it cannot be done, cannot be used. Kulang sila sa tao.
Ayun nga
Nationwide.
Nationwide yun ang kanilang mandatos, pero ang kanilang enforcer
Will you say the number? I cannot say it because I have no real basis.
I don't recall anymore, but I heard that before sa in law enforcement division nila
Ang sabi sa akin, konti lang. I mean, the number I was not impressed.
No.
I would have thought they deserve more people than
kulang na kulang. Kaya nga napipilitan silang mag-deputize ng kaliwat kanan para makatulong sa enforcement. And ang nangyayari, since sa dami ng dinideputize, alam mo na, quality-wise, hindi pare-pareho.
Yes.
Merong matino, merong hindi. Lalo na pagdating dyan sa local areas na, local government. So tama ka.
Maybe we need a law for training the apprehending officer.
Correct. The law enforcement officers,
they can be properly budgeted for and create a profession with very proud enforcers that are technically trained and technically correct.
Yeah, siguro with enough budget, yung kanilang i-deputize, bago ma-deputize, they have to make sure na na-train muna nila properly.
Yes.
So, nationwide, pare-pareho ng level and quality ng traffic enforcement. Whether it's national road, municipal road, o barangay road, pare-pareho ang enforcement kasi they undergone the same training.
That's correct.
Each member represents a respected name. But together, we are stronger. United as a team, we are MDPPA.
Pero pagdating kasi ng improper apprehension, parang sa internal affairs ng police din yan, di ba? Improper, ano mo. So dapat meron din internal affairs of something sa MMDA, sa LTO, sa LTFRB, di ba? Para naman mag-guarantee nila na tama ang kanilang mga enforcers. I mean, that should be done. That all these agencies should have that mechanism to police their internal people. At the same time naman, to the public naman, the best reaction to this is you behave properly para hindi ka mahuli. I mean, yun ang inaasahan natin, di ba? You drive properly para hindi ka mahuli.
I mean, they should know the law so that they can drive properly.
Well, marami kasi nahuli dito nang hindi niya alam pala yun eh. So, yun nga sinasabi natin, ignorance is not an excuse. Okay, next tayo. Bilis na oras eh. Next, ito, HB 1419. Ito, medyo controversial yata ito eh. An act penalizing lane splitting of motorcycles and providing penalties thereof. Ano ba? Lane splitting. And mayroon pa silang sinasabi ito, lane filtering. Ano ba ito? Sa mga mga ordinaryong motorista, lalo kung hindi nagmumotorsiklo, hindi familiar dito eh.
I always thought that the lane splitting was prohibited under existing LTO issuance. Diba?
It is, diba?
AHS 2008-013. Diba?
Yes. Oh.
Our good friend Bert Swansing.
2008 pa yan.
But the LTO-AO is proof that nobody knows it. The LTO-AO is also proof that nobody enforces it. And it also is proof that it is administratively not viable. Over the past 14 years, how many tickets have been issued for lane splitting and how much litigation has been done on lane splitting? Zero. And the thing is it becomes very unviable to even police it. Ang ayoko lang kasi is tomorrow they will impose the fine, but the fact is you cannot even enforce it. So even if this bill becomes a law to distinguish the lane splitting, lane filtering, all the speed-related matters, type of road matters, and all the classification items for the use of the motorcycle and lane splitting and the related issues, I don't think anybody can enforce it. It is a behavior which I think we cannot regulate. I'm happy to have AHS 2008-13. It will come up as an issue in due care when litigated in an accident, no? Compliance with law. It will become a relevant issue. But I don't think it is a ticketable issue.
Offense.
I don't think so. Because when the cars come up on the road and the park and then the motorcycle comes in between and you say, were we at the right speed? Is this the right road? Is this lane splitting? Is this lane filtering? Gumagalaw pa naman, pero sumingit sa gitna. And then, are we up for a wrongful apprehension?
Yeah.
I think it cannot be regulated. I think it is not a subject matter that is ripe for. I don't think it's a subject matter that is ripe for legislation.
Mm-mm.
As a motorcycle safety policy, it might be good and to declare it what is the best practice. In other words, you can adopt the world standards and say at certain speeds there is splitting, at certain speeds there is no splitting. For certain type of ground and conditions of lighting, you can put in what is allowed and what not allowed. But you cannot police it and say ticket ka. Kasi kawawa naman lahat ng dumikit ng side by side sa isang lane.
Well, I think siguro kailangan i-consider dito yung practicality. At the current rate natin na traffic congestion is there. Pagtapos kulang naman ang public vehicles natin, the trains, the buses, kulang para ayaw mo magmotor, sumakay ka public, wala naman. O ayaw mo magkotse, sumakay ka sa public transport, kulang naman eh. So napipilitan yung tao gumamit ng kotse, gumamit ng motorsiklo. And then because of the traffic congestion, hindi maiwasan pagdating sa mga kanto, yung mga motorcycle, because there's space na pwede pa nilang daanan, pupunta sila sa harapan. Diba? Para hindi naman nakapila ng mahaba sila sa likod. So yung practicality niyan, di ba?
Exactly. The challenge is this if we change the law a little bit and we said, alam niyo po, come 2028, bawal na ang lane splitting. We have 5 years to implement. Can it be done? I don't think it can be done. You kahit i-phase in mo yung enforcement, it cannot be done. I think my conclusion there is it is a best practice. I agree to certain speeds and certain not in all conditions, but I don't think it is a behavior that can be regulated.
Pero tingnan naman natin dito. Pagdating dito sa congested areas, we don't see any safety issues kasi mabagal lang naman yung pag-filter nila tsaka split. Pero pag napapansin naman natin, if you go outside Metro Manila, pag provincial road naman, bilis na yung takbo natin. We're running 60 or 80. Tapos may magli-lane split sa tabi mo, sasalubong sa'yo, naka-lane split sila. Or even sa expressway, nagkaka-lane splitting dyan. Ibang usapan naman siguro yun na you're putting everybody in danger.
Yes. But is it ticketable? I mean, it is a basis to say liable siya for the consequential damage. But is it ticketable na magkano? 3,000, 1,000, 500?
Pero, okay. From the point of view, legally, kung ginawa mo yan at nagkaroon ng aksidente, ikaw may kasalanan na talagang habulin ka. But that is after the fact na meron ng aksidente, meron ng banggaan, may mishap na tayo eh. Sa point of view naman ng gusto mong iwasan magkaroon ng ganon.
I still don't know whether you can regulate that. I would rather that a motorcycle have better devices, and one simple device for me is to say is, can they require motorcycles to have automatic cancellation of the signal light? Isn't that a distraction already on the road? And that is something that they can already implement and enforce. I'm saying it's crazy, I know, but I cite it as an example of yung automatic cancellation. Kasi ang daming tumatakbo sa kalye.
Hindi pwede.
Naka-on yung isang side. Hindi naman siya kakaliwa.
Well, oo nga, nagkakaroon ng miscommunication sa ganyan. Well, that's another issue. Pero ang issue nga natin, alam mo, sa expressway, you're traveling the same direction. You're doing 80 kilometers per hour. Tapos biglang may mag-overtake sa pagitan ng dalawang kotse na isang motorsiklo. Is it something that you will be able to document and then issue a ticket? I think it's not feasible. Kailangan may ebidensya talaga yon. I mean, mahirap patunayan. But if you're caught red-handed, 1% out of 100 nakuha na ka ng ebidensya na ganun ang ginawa mo.
I just think that it does not fit into my idea of what should be under a law.
Okay.
It's not viable at all. And as I said at my opening comment to you today, ang dami nating batas na at
Oo
I
nga.
classify as stillborn,
Oo nga.
not enforceable, not enforced, dead in the water,
Oo.
and I don't even want to cite an example.
Well, yun nga tatanungin kita because we've been talking about this. Isang
Ang
oras na
daming
tayo.
ma-offend
Isang oras na tayo nag-uusap. So, generally, anong observation mo sa mga bills na ito? Of course, yung mga listeners natin, baka may idea na sila kung anong opinion natin. But to sum it up, kasi isang oras na tayo, kailangan natin magpaalam. Ano na yung general opinion mo regarding all of this? Hindi nga natin na binasa lahat Ilan lang itong dinaanan natin.
Ang general opinion ko is, let's refer to a bigger policy issue of transport and mobility before we bring in many laws to support the main framework of national transport policy. The NEDA created a national transport policy back in 2017. Many times it's not quoted as being supported by the proposed bills.
Yeah.
But I like the wisdom in the policy as a framework. If we can support it with new legislation that supports that, it's good. We should avoid bills which tend to be smaller problem solving. And I think we should empower the administrative agencies to have more power and more funds and more manpower to attend to the smaller problems. I think the bigger policy issues on legislation really are those which affect nationwide concerns. They should affect many, many aspects and many people in the country.
All right. Thank you very much sa ating attorney, Roby Consunji, who helped us today para ipaliwanag itong obserbasyon natin sa mga ilang bills. Si Attorney Roby Consunji, trustee po ng Automobile Association of the Philippines, long-time columnist po ng Top Gear Philippines since 2004, and managing partner ng Consunji Bonifacio Law Office. Maraming salamat, Roby.
Maraming salamat, Sir Arnel.
Alright, sa susunod
Thank you. Yes, anytime.
Tapos naman na isang oras po natin dito sa Good Trip. Lingguhang biyahe po natin sa mundo ng travel, transportation, road safety at environment. Samahan po ninyo ulit ako susunod na Sabado, 1:00 po hanggang 2:00 dito po sa DZRJ 8:10 AM. At mababasa rin po ninyo ang Good Trip sa Diaryong Abante tuwing Lunes. Sabado po, saan man po kayo papunta, yung mga pupunta po sasali sa Ride for Valor, ingat-ingat po kayo. At tandaan po lagi natin, nandyan pa rin po ang COVID-19. So, face mask, physical distancing, at hugas kamay. Kita-kita po ulit tayo susunod na Sabado. Ito po si Arnel Doria. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Each member represents a respected name. But together, we are stronger. United as a team, we are MDPPA.